welcome to the Echelon Show with Southside Steve.
And welcome, Mr. Peter Conlon, to the Exit Wealth Studios. Peter Conlon is the chairman of Live Nation Georgia, and the segment is In the Green Room. And it has been a minute since we've been in the green room, Jeff. We have not been celebrities. We've been replaying the goldness of Peter Conlon. And now there's new subjects, and we have a new time. It's going to be probably Wednesday or Thursday. We'll put it out in social media. But thank you for your time always. Here is Peter Conlon. Good day, sir.
Hey, Steve. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Since we last talked, we look at the business. Of course, you running Live Nation and being in the business since 1980 and bringing the entertainment to Atlanta and being backstage and knowing the artist, which is what defines the green room. I love your stories. And Jeff brought up, we haven't talked since Clive Davis passed.
Yeah, and I know that you mentioned that Ahmet Ertegun, another big record label guy, was one of your mentors. And, we lost Clive Davis a couple months ago. We haven't talked to you. I wondered if you could speak a little bit about if any dealings you've had with Clive Davis over the years.
Personally, I didn't have a lot with Clive. Alex did some. I was much closer with Ahmet. He actually got me in the business. There was a situation where, I don't know if you've seen this documentary that's out right now on Ron Delsner, who is the main promoter in New York, and he talks about Frank Barcelona. And Frank back in the 70s, he ran the business, and you didn't get acts unless you were sanctioned by Frank.
Wow.
And when I told Ahmet I wanted to be a promoter, he picked up the phone and he called Frank, and he said, I have a friend of mine who wants to be a promoter. I'd like you to meet with him. And Frank said, send him over. And I went over to Premier Talent, his talent agency. And, I sat in the waiting room for about 10 minutes. I saw Bill Graham go in there, and he was talking to some people about a Who tour. And then, Frank asked me into his office. I went in there and we talked for about 10, 15 minutes. He just wanted to know why I wanted to be in the business, why, it interested me. And I told him I just loved concerts and never bought up money or anything. And then we had a nice meeting. And the next day I got a call from an agent and says, Frank says you have Billy Squier in Memphis. Here's the date, And
that's crazy. Oh my God.
That's how it started.
Peter, I never knew that story. That is fantastic, man. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
what an opportunity.
Yeah, they were all, you had to be sanctioned by Frank. And,
man,
in the Delsner thing, they talk about Howard Stein, who was a big promoter and was doing shows. He didn't stay in his territory. Frank gave you territories, like Alex had the Southeast and Delsner had New York, and the Belkins had Ohio and the area, and, and Don Law had Boston, and, and you stayed in your area. And Howard started doing stuff up and down the coast. He was in Miami. He was in Atlanta. He was everywhere. And Frank just told him he was out of the business. Ooh. And that was it.
Oh my God.
And that's how Delta got New York. But to get back to Clive, one of the stories I have is Billy Joel told me was that, Billy had told me that Cooley was responsible for his career when we were doing Billy and Elton here, and Alex came to the show with me. We were standing backstage, and I heard someone yell Cooley, and it was Billy, and he ran down the aisle, and he slid up next to us, and he pointed to Cooley, and he said, this guy's responsible for my career. And I said, really? I didn't know that. And Alex said, yeah, really, Billy? And Billy said, yeah, you don't remember? I called you when you announced the Puerto Rican Pop Festival, and I told you I had a band, and he said, I hadn't written any songs. We were playing cover tunes, and you said, well, come to Puerto Rico, I'll put you on. And we came to Puerto Rico, and you put us on before Joe Cocker. And we did some Joe Cocker songs, which he didn't like. And he said, then after our set, a guy in a white suit came up, handed me his card, and said, call me Monday. And it was Clive Davis, and that's how I got my first record deal.
Oh, wow. So Alex Cooley kind of hooked up Billy Joel with Clive Davis, and then the rest is history.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. And a guy named Mike Bone worked for Clive, and he worked for Alex for a while, and later on he worked for Phil Walden. And we had a management deal with someone in our office, and we were doing some bands, and we had a couple bands that we did with Clive, and then Clive got pushed out by the label because they thought he was too old, and they put what's his name in there from Atlanta.
Trying to
I
think.
can't think of the name right now. And started that J label, and then Clive came back with his own label and basically turned it all around.
Mm-hmm. And then
and was
ended up working until he was in his 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, till his 90s. Yeah, no, he was amazing, and he had an eye for talent, and he knew how to work with talent. I mean, he listened to them. A lot of these guys would tell everybody what to do, and he would ask, and and I see that in our business now. People go into touring meetings and they're like, well, here's what you're going to do, and they don't get the tour. The ones that go in and say, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? That's what the artists want to hear. It's their aspirations they're interested in, not yours. So
That
that's
is
what Clive was
interesting.
good at.
God. Yeah, and you obviously are good at that too. I mean, sometimes we do see shows when they're touring, and for some reason they don't come here, but they might come to Birmingham or something. And I never know the logistics of it or the situation. But I know that there's so many people come through Atlanta because of you and the relationship they had with you and Alex Cooley. But to speak to that. That is a great way to handle it, and you have to be very patient. You're right. When you're a promoter, I imagine you have to wear a lot of different coats, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Another thing in this Delzer thing was interesting. It is a business. It's a numbers game. It's at the end of the day, it's about the money.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to make money, and the promoter is the one at the end of the day who is either going to make or lose it. You guarantee and everybody else what they're going to make, and you're paying all the expenses, and at the end of the day your percentage is what's left.
Ooh.
So it came down to a numbers thing, and that's where the business was changing when I got involved with Alex. I mean, prior to that, the numbers weren't that important because acts were on flats and ticket prices were low, and volume was good. But then as the acts were getting more demanding in their deals, and the guarantees were going up there, the risk was increasing tremendously. So you had to put more and more business models into play to make sure that you could sell what you needed to sell. And we would run budgets on every show we did and make sure, well, we're going to break even at 6,000 seats here, and we think they can sell 8. That's the kind of thing. But prior to that, Alex would just book bands and say sure. So it came down to a business, and
Oh,
the
God.
money kept getting bigger and bigger. I remember when both he and I were losing sleep because we were having to make a decision on the first 6-figure guarantee for the Omni, which was Olivia Newton-John's physical tour.
Mm.
And she wanted $100,000 a night in arenas, and no one had ever
Damn.
gotten that kind of money. And we got 3 markets. We had Charlotte and Greensboro, and we had Atlanta. And the good thing was we had cross-collateralized them, so we ended up getting out because none of the shows did particularly great. It wasn't a great tour. And but that shows you how you had to structure deals in those days, because the money was getting bigger and bigger, and it still is. I mean, it's getting bigger every year.
God.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I mean, it blows. I don't even want to ask what like AC/DC who's coming to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, cost, or is Taylor Swift more? I mean, you're right with these artists. I mean, some of them we look and we see who cohabitates well and gives us great rock shows, like the one that you did at Truist. You're outdoor. Thank God the weather participated just to the end. They got a little bit of rain during Def Leppard, but I'll never forget. I'm like, good Lord, Poison, Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Joan Jett opening. I'm like, damn. I mean, but these lineups are incredible. I mean, has it gotten to the point that it even freaks you out a little bit? I mean, I know how successful.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I would be freaked the F out, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the margins are tight.
Yeah.
There are artists in stadiums who are getting $5 and $10 million a night.
What?
I never knew that. Well, hand to God, did not know they were getting that. I mean, I'm thinking a million, wouldn't you?
Right, million too. Even with the Taylor Swifts. I mean, a
Acts
night.
are getting $1 million in arenas.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But like the Bruno Mars, the AC/DC, who's playing the big stadiums.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn it.
Stadiums are anywhere from 2 to 10 million, depending on the artist.
Mm.
Oh God. Oh God, Peter, are you still losing sleep? That's a lot. I know your butt's not on the line, but obviously you succeed being the chairman of Live Nation Georgia. What a position, and what a great company. But it's not you doing it the way you want to do it. There's a lot of us that are in that corporate sector, and some aren't. I've been out of it for 2.5 years due to 99X coming back, and now that's gone. But just in closing, I just didn't know right now with what you're doing with these shows, is radio supporting still? Does it still help? Giving out concert? Is there any interviews, or is it mid acts, or how is the radio interacting with you these days?
Radio is not a primary vehicle anymore. Social media is.
Social media.
Radio is not that important.
Wow.
It has a niche, and on some acts it's useful, but it's not the focus anymore. It's not like the old days when, in the 90s, when 99X could announce something and it was golden. If the morning crew were on it, it was golden. You were just going to sell.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have those kind of relationships anymore. People don't listen. People are on social media, or they're listening to satellite radio, and there's no promotion with satellite radio, except maybe on a national basis when they mention something. But radio is just not a major spending item on the budgets anymore. No.
It's hard. That's hard to hear for us, but I mean, I know it's true. It's all digital and all social media and all online stuff. But it's a truth, though.
Yeah.
Pretty much 80% of our money goes to digital and social.
Mm-hmm. Wow. With the loss, and I know, and I share this because we're friends, and I adore you, man. And I just think what you've done, and I thought it was so cool when I met you the first time, because I saw you on my concert tickets in high school and in my 20s, not knowing who you were, and I was like, who are these two guys?
Mm-hmm.
and then I meet you both, and I'm like, oh my God, and I look back at my ticket stub. So you're bigger than life to me and to a lot of people in Atlanta, and that's what I try to do here. And our numbers are going up, but you just never know with radio. And the latest blowout, what I wanted to say was Peter was very kind. I know somebody that was in a meeting, and you said when I left the building at Cumulus, you went, well, there went your personality right there. And I know you said that about me, and I just want to let you know that that meant a lot to me. And now,
I think radio in some ways did it to themselves, because they started to get rid of the personality-driven part of it, and that was really their saving grace. If they had that local kind of tie-in with personalities, but they didn't want to pay them, so they thought that I know at one time a radio station was having one radio personality do the entire Southeast,
oh my God,
with their morning show, and people wouldn't relate to that. I mean, I grew up in the days of Skinny Bobby Harper,
Yes,
when you had these guys, you wanted to listen to what they said in the morning, and I think Howard Stern's the only guy who's been able to survive that and make it work, but on a national basis. But personalities are important.
Yeah.
That's how people relate to the radio station. So
I wasn't a fan, and we talked about you yesterday on our show, talking about Music Midtown, how radio was so combative in the late 90s, early 2000s that, when you were doing it, when you had the space, you had to have different stages, and they were scattered well enough away, and you're making a decision. Do I want to go see Hole, or do I want to stay here and watch Journey? I mean, it was unbelievable. There will never, and I know it's your brainchild, there will never be what you and Alex brought us, Music Midtown. There will never be anything that cool in this city ever again. The people that lived it, enjoyed it. To me, I think that is just like definitely the cherry on what you did. But the stations I didn't like 99X because I wasn't a fan of the music or the attitude or even the hardcore fan base. They just weren't my kind of people. A little snooty, just a little different. The alternative scene, but I'm a new wave 80s. Hey, let's have fun. Let's drink, yeah, that kind of guy. So rock fit. But, when you look at 99X, I loved a lot of those air personalities. So talented, and I say Jimmy Barron, Steve Craig, and Crash jumped back in it, and now they're all gone again, and it's just like they lost all of their personalities, and it's just a shame. I take no joy. I feel sorry for them, even though I was in those chairs 2.5 years ago.
Well, I think radio has a great ability to throw the baby out with the bathwater, and
No
they seem to
doubt.
always do that. So, and
Thank you for saying that. That's true. God. Oh man. Well,
I remember when Clear Channel put salary caps on all their personalities, and they lost them. And they did the same thing with our company. We lost some of the best promoters we had because they put salary caps on these guys who went out and started their own businesses and are doing extremely well.
yeah, you don't want to put a ceiling on it at all. But I love the conversations. You enlightened me 3 times today. So thank you so much for your time. I know how busy you are, and it was a pleasure having you on the Yeah Come On show. I just want to say it's my friend and Mr. Atlanta, unless you have anything to say in closing, I don't know. I cut you off on the radio personalities. I didn't know if you were close to any of those guys or.
Oh yeah, I was good friends with Jimmy and Leslie,
yeah,
they were friends of mine. Jimmy's doing very well in the real estate business. I see his name everywhere. So
yeah,
he had turned down the offer they had made him because it was kind of insulting, and he went into real estate.
yeah.
And Mark, who was the manager, left, and he went and opened a spa somewhere. I mean, they all went into other businesses. So, and Leslie's been very successful in Nashville with country music television and things like that. So, they've had their other careers, but I think radio has hastened its change in a lot of the decisions they've made. It so corporately.
Well, we'll see. I'm hoping it goes back old school individual air personalities. We'll see if it has a rebirth because the signals are there, and it'll be interesting because if the Phoenix is going to rise from the ashes, it's time because I think Atlanta's pretty burned to the ground in a lot of ways, and I know you're right there in the middle of it. But cheers to you and the shows. I know your next big one, I guess, is AC/DC, unless you have something else coming up that I'm not aware of.
Oh, we got tons of shows. I mean, shows all the time. So
Yeah.
I can't tell you specifically right now. Guns N' Roses is coming to Truist, and AC/DC's at Mercedes.
Damn it.
You know,
That's all I want to hear.
I was at Motley Crue last night. So, I mean, there's shows every night. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you talked to us. I'm glad you're not hungover and you didn't get pulled backstage. But for all I know, those guys don't drink anymore.
No,
Maybe.
it's a different business now. The money's so big. Everybody's very, very sober and businesslike.
I know it. Well, thank you for letting people hear this and know how the business has changed. But it's always fun going back in the past. Once again, it is the chairman of Live Nation Georgia. It is Peter Conlon in the green room. Thank you, Peter. Have a great day.
You're welcome, guys.
All right. Bye-bye, buddy. Well, you don't get any bigger or better than that. That is all about relationships. And, we've given this whole week to radio in honor of not the machine, those that drove the machine. I kind of look at it like, radio stations are race cars and they need good drivers.
Right, and they got rid of all the drivers. How are they going to drive? How are they going to race with no drivers?
Yeah, you got a guy that knows radio inside and out. Steve Craig, who was running things, he's gone. You got somebody like Crash that's has done crazy stuff on TV and radio, gone. And the part-timers, I don't know if part-timers are surviving. I have not talked to those over there, but
well, and as great as Will Pendarvis is, who's the last man standing, you can't have one guy do all the jobs. That's kind of what radio's been trying to do.
But I hear he's extremely skilled. I talked to a couple people. I don't know, Will, shout out to you. You always want to meet somebody that's good in your business. But yeah, I know that they say if there's anybody that can really manage what's going on based on his past and what he's done since he left Atlanta in like 93, 94, he started X and left. That's why he's there. So you don't know future plans or what's going to go on. The Yeah Come On show will always be on 5 days a week. Jeff and I have committed ourselves to it, and it's all about relationships. And we don't have contracts. We have a thirst to talk to people. We have 50 years of corporate experience between us, and doing this. There's days like this where you learn a little bit about the past, and then you got to realize the past is gone. And that was a sobering point on radio.
It's just not important, because that was the whole concert promotion business back in the 80s and 90s. You had to go through radio to sell tickets. That's how you found out about concerts.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's just scrolling on Facebook.
It is. And you know what's funny? When you look at everything, and again, we're going to play a song at the end of the show, and our hearts go out to those on X that lost their jobs. Been there twice. In both years, man, it takes a hit. There are people that get fired and start the next day crushing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's people that
that's what we did when we got canned from Fox FM. We started the Come On show
the next day.
Really, the next day, the 4-hour Atlanta radio show in 30 minutes, live without a net. We picked it up.
Yeah.
And
we're getting the guest, and that's the other thing, too. We're going down pipelines to bring in some of the comedians, and that's why our studio in Buckhead is so useful to us, thanks to Ted Jenkin. And you also got to thank Lee Heisman and Justin Farmer. They have a great studio downtown that is accessible for us that they use for Exit Wealth, Red, White, and Green show, as well as Exit Stage Left Advisors if you're looking to buy or sell a business. And our studio's right here in Alpharetta, but we will go down there because it's more convenient for a lot of people that are in town to film or just doing stand-up to come to that Buckhead location.
And maybe we get Peter Conlon in person, because he's
Peter already said he would do it.
Yeah, okay.
So the next Peter we need to have him in studio.
Yeah.
And we're figuring out the ins and outs of the equipment. But even if we got a terrestrial radio job, we were working for somebody, it's almost like, you want to work for somebody like a David Dickey, or Dickey Broadcasting, because I worked for his two brothers.
Independent.
Yeah, independent, somebody that's going to understand that you're a talent, that people know you, and that you've got some side gigs because the money's not the same. Chris Murray was that too at Fox FM, and there are those out there. So do your homework. You can always get in our DMs if you want to be loyal to people that are doing it right and aren't big machines. But you may just be shallow, and you're like me, man. I'll admit it. If I'm in my wife's car, because she doesn't have Sirius, I do. So I'll go Hair Nation, Fox News, or I'm listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
And then there's one or two podcasts I like to listen to.
Yeah, I'm same here. Scattered through the 70s and 80s on Sirius and whatever podcast. Which reminds me, I had a meeting with producer Mike yesterday. We air checked yesterday's show.
You did?
Yeah, and I had to give Mike props because it was very smooth. We moved fast. You were great. We had our discussions. We went in and out.
So y'all are having meetings behind my back.
We had an air check.
An air check.
Just an air check.
Is Mike trying to move up? Is he trying to get behind a mic?
He was trying to, he brought it to me. He was like, hey, can we go over today's show? Because I think I did really well.
Oh.
I said, okay, well, listen. And I listened to the whole thing, and it was great. So we're definitely getting into a good groove on the Come On show.
And we need to stay in that groove. And we're going to mention sponsors, and we're going to show you commercials and things we've done. And right now, one person I want to mention, just because it coincides with the interview that we just did with Peter Conlon, is definitely Star Coaches and Rap Star USA. Danny Hamilton is Star Coaches. Jeff loves the fact that he owned the Rec Room, which was a Georgia Tech bar back in the day.
It's probably my first place going to see like live music, underage, just drinking whatever I want.
Just
all you
loving
have to do,
life.
Any kind of fake ID work there.
And Danny,
I hope he doesn't get in trouble.
No, Danny's not. He's not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Now people tell me, "Oh, yeah, I was underage drinking in Southside Steve's." I'm like, okay, I'm sure you were. You know what? Thanks, great door staff. That I was paying like $18 an hour, and I had to have 4 or 5 guys out there. But, it is what it is for the underage thing. But Danny took that money, and then he, because of concerts, has the bus business, and that's the thing. Those buses are local. They're right off the interstate, and if you're out there having a good time and you want to take a Rockstar bus with your family to the beach, or you want to take 10 guys on a golf trip, it's got to be 12. You got to do foursomes. They've got bunks if you want to sleep, if you're going 3 or 4 states, or maybe you're going out of state. But the bus stays. You guys get your clubs, you play. and then you take the bus home in 2 days, and man, it is crazy affordable and so cool. So I just want to say thank you, Danny Hamilton and Danny Jr. that have star coaches, and that a lot of Peter's acts have been on those buses.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. In fact, the last time when we saw Collective Soul last summer, Danny was backstage, and their buses were parked right there.
Yeah, it was all their buses. So there you have it. Collective Soul likes to use Danny's buses too. And lastly, just to squeeze in one more advertiser before we jump into politics, we will be negative on sports. I'm just going to tease what's going on, and you need to get to your TVs. But thanks to sliders, because you can slide on in and grab sliders. And what works best for a bus? You get that 25 pack, and you get the box of fries with all the dippings, and then you get a few shakes for the people that just don't care. I lost my mic. I don't know. I'm off. Try this one. I don't know. There, I'm back. Sometimes you got to switch your mic. Hello. Yeah, that was not working. But this is why we're live without a net. I don't know what happened.
I don't either. It just crapped out.
Okay.
It's a digital thing,
No worries. I'm on this mic now. Oh, this looks weird. I can't. Two fists. I know that got a little sexual. So let me get this one situated. So sliders is just they're growing too. The world changes. You got to adapt. There's a lot of people that AI's crushing, and a radio person, as you heard how a business has changed for Peter. You've got to roll with the changes, but sometimes if you start a business and it's good, it stays, and that's why we love sliders. That's small sliders, great for a rock band, hip-hop band, or your little golfing group.
Well, small sliders is for everyone.
Well, we've proved that it is for everyone. If you watch our commercials, it truly is for everyone. Now it's time for a little polydictainment.
Polydictainment.
Nothing much today. Of course, the Strait of Hormuz. Is it closed? Is it open? Trump says we have control. The Iranians say we don't, and it's going to keep it closed until they get their peace agreement. So, that's kind of what.
I have something.
Oh.
I'll just say that I understand about the whole peace agreement, and I know that's on your filter because you, like everybody else, I don't know how it's affecting business. A lot of people get stuff from China. This is a hot damn mess. We got to figure it out.
Well, that doesn't go through the Strait through Hormuz.
It doesn't.
No,
you don't go through the Strait.
No, it goes.
None of your stuff goes through the Strait.
No, I think most consumer goods are going the other way, Pacific.
Okay, the Pacific
from China. Yeah.
So that's where like polar bear coolers or the T-shirts that I buy or the Come On hats. They're all coming the other way.
Everything you buy at Walmart. It comes from China.
All right, none of my products come from Walmart.
This is one of the things that I used to hear when people, is your stuff made in China? Or is it made in USA? It's like, no, it's made in China. Oh, well, I'm not buying. I only buy from USA made. Okay, well, I guess you don't shop at Target or Walmart or anywhere else because all that stuff's from China.
China's doing it all. We got to do ours, and I know that right now we're trying to stop them from buying up land. We don't want them to own.
Yeah, I'm kind of. Why would we let that happen? You got to be an American to buy American land.
Yeah, we need to give back that money. But the other thing I was going to bring up, Tom Holman yesterday made a lot of news yesterday, and he was talking about what's going on. And I'm so tired of these damn people not realizing we're trying to remove people. There was in the news right now, if you're watching the news cycle, a guy got released from a California jail that had a track record. ICE had turned him in. ICE has told of all these officers, call us. Call us when you have an illegal. We will come, pick them up, ship them out. They're illegal. They don't need to go through our systems.
Right.
They don't need to be in our jails. And once again, because of these damn cities and these weak-ass people, they put him on the street. Killed somebody. It's the big talk right now on Fox News.
Like Lincoln Riley, like the guy that
killed Lincoln Riley on a college campus. And he and his brother are living in an apartment right in Athens. Nobody knows, and they're part of a Venezuela gang. And these people, they don't think the way we do. So the new product on the street, and they're trying to get it approved, are electric gloves.
Oh, what electric gloves
They
do?
will shock you. In other words, you've got to be trained when to put them on. So they are equipped with handcuffs, batons. They also have the sprays, and now they will have electric gloves. It's everything to prevent death. In other words, pulling out your
I thought the tasers would do that.
Well, now they say when people are wrestling, which everybody does, And I love the New York people have already spoken in New York, Mandami and all these other people. They're already saying if you use those gloves in New York and anybody's injured, we will sue the pants off of you. So everybody's going to threaten a lawsuit. But when they're on the ground, Jeff, and you're wrestling with them, you click the button on the electric gloves. Now you're shocking them and they'll quit fighting you. Everybody wants to run or fight an officer instead of just putting their hands behind their back.
Yeah, I don't get it. So if you don't comply, you get hurt. That's just how it is, and you shouldn't be able to sue for that.
So they say it's going to be about $20 million. They're going to outfit officers. They should be out in March. That's been a huge conversation. I saw it 2 days ago, and I just wanted to bring it up to you because you're going to close out with some very sad news.
Well, Caroline Leavitt is leaving the press secretary. You know, she's the so there's a hot press secretary.
That hurts me.
Yeah.
I love her. I think she's the best press secretary ever.
I like Kayleigh McKinley.
Do you?
Yeah, I liked her better. But anyway,
what's the woman that's the governor of Arkansas now? She was one too.
Oh, Huckabee.
Huckabee was pretty good.
Well, but she wasn't hot though.
She wasn't hot, but she was like she's like that cook. What's that girl that cooked all the time?
Julia Child?
Not Julia Childs. Hello. No, the one that was hot, the brunette.
Oh, Rachel Ray.
She had a Rachel Ray look about her, and I thought it was kind of cool. But there's nobody better to me than Caroline Leavitt.
Yeah, so she wants to spend time with her family. She said she's leaving no controversy, just that she wants to, take some time off and kind of be with her kids. However, I'm going to predict she's going to end up being a correspondent or an anchor on Fox News. That's what they all do, just like Kayleigh McKinley.
And she should, because she's so intense.
Just like Jen Psaki, Biden's press secretary, went to MSNBC as soon as she stepped down.
All right, here's the deal, Trump. We know you're looking. You want to do it together. I don't want to do it by myself. Why don't we
do what?
Be the next press secretary, you and me.
Oh, you got to be a good liar. I don't think you're a good liar.
I'm a horrible liar. That's why I'm in trouble. My wife's like, "Did you play the lottery?" I'm like, "No." But I don't know. But man, it gets you a gig. So we'll see who the next one up is. But Trump, I know they're close, and she does have the family. And I can't. Can you imagine the hours of that job?
That's got to be. You need to have grown kids for that position. I think you can't be a mother with 2 little kids. It seems too demanding. So he says she'll be an outside advisor, and she'll be a voice within the Republican Party moving forward. So that's our show, and we're going to skip sports.
Now, sports is, we'll skip it. All I want to say about sports is, first off, it's brought to you by North Atlanta Golf Carts. Again, I'm in a sentimental phase. Tonight, we will be at Rockin' Taco, so you can come see us at Rockin' Taco. We will tape our show. We will be there around 6 o'clock. And what we do tonight at Rockin' Taco will be our show on Friday. So now every Thursday, we are live at Rockin' Taco, and then we air the show on Fridays just to show you what fun we had. We'll talk to the artist, we'll show you the staff, or we'll just do a regular show, but just on location.
Yeah, at the Rockin' Taco side, it'll be tonight at 6 to 7. We'll do our show and then introduce the act, which is the Grand Funk. It's a funk band tonight.
It's a funk band, and it's going to get funky. So if you like funk, you need to come on in, and also, obviously you can go to the Rock, ROCKN, taco.com, and you can see the lineup, see what's coming. But we're there every Thursday. The food is great, the staff is great. But North Atlanta Golf Carts, I just want to say I'm sorry, you and Regal Nissan, we did not do sports today. The only thing I want to mention is today is the first round of the East Lake.
Yeah, so we'll catch up on that on Monday morning with Jack Sugar.
Yeah, Jack Sugar wanted to talk to us. His dad's a member. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, our sports guy, if you want to know that I didn't get the best, number one, he crushes in fantasy football. Kills me. He's in the Yeah Come On League, which we will let you know all about the Yeah Come On League. I may have one spot for a listener.
Okay.
We're adding Kincaid from 680 The Fan. We've got Jack. Once again, we will have the bass player for REM, which is strong.
And the bass player from Collective Soul.
Which is strong. Mm-hmm. And then John Rocker's talking about it. I don't know if we want to bring Rocker into it. I don't need him getting intense. But we'll see. But we do have some celebs in it. And there you go. It's kind of fun doing all the fantasy. But my point about Jack was every time I play with him and his dad. when I play East Lake, and Jack knocked a 72 out there.
Wow, that's
I mean, that's strong.
Professional. That's practically professional.
Yeah, and I was like, way to go, Jack. So we'll have Jack on Monday to talk all things golf. But, man, there's nothing better TV. People forget about Tiger winning there and everybody coming in behind him. And we'll talk about this particular golf match leaving East Lake and going to another location. So if you can get a ticket this weekend, get one. Be glued to your television sets. It's time for track 13.
Okay, what are we going to do here? You got something in mind?
Well,
kind of doing the things about the end of an era, breaking up, something like that. We did Heaven's on Fire because 99X blew everyone out.
By the
Is it
way,
on fire?
By the way, I ran into Ashish with Elite Finishes, which is another great sponsor for us, and EliteFinishesGA.com on painting and everything, because we were talking about the Braves. I think he's starting to sweat because if the Braves win the World Series, anybody that got their house painted this year, it's free.
They're going to get their money back.
He's got a great insurance policy. But Ashish was talking about us. He goes, "Are y'all doing that to be mean?" I go, "No." He's
doing what? Our track 13s?
Yeah, no. I said, dude, it's an homage
Yes.
to those that got let go.
I know yesterday was never say never because 99X could come back 3.0 someday. We don't know.
Because I was acting like it'll never come back.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it. I go, that's not true. It could.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, especially on Atlanta radio. And this is the version that at least you know what you get 5 days a week. And we're not in competition. We're just giving you a quick way out if you don't have 4 hours to kill. I want to go with, tell me, listen, a couple suggestions. Separate ways. People go their separate ways, but it's a well-known journey.
Yeah, I like it. It works. It's just, it's not very track 13-ish because it's still on the radio all the time.
All right, so you don't like that suggestion.
Well, I mean, I like
When
it.
It's Over?
We did that one.
No, we did that one.
We did that one. That was our first one.
That was, I forgot that. I'm also looking, okay, I'm not done. I love doing this. I'm going to go through real quick. You ready for this? I got a couple. So these are people that we hope get something going on, right? There's something going on. Is one. There's something going on.
We love that.
We love that song, so I want that to be one. I didn't want to go with Runaway because it's overplayed by Bon Jovi. It's My Life, Taking Control of Your Life, but that's Bon Jovi, but he's a rock act, but that's also played a lot. Then I didn't, I Still Believe.
Oh, let's do that. I love that song.
Which version do you want to play? The Call?
The Tim Capello version.
We're going to do Tim Capello instead of The Call.
Yeah, they're originally done by The Call. It was made famous in the movie The Lost Boys with the guy with the sax. That's Tim Capello, very famous sax player. Played with Tina Turner. And he was just in town. He played the Drunken Unicorn, a little bar on Ponce in Midtown. He was a little tiny bar. I sent you the flyer.
No, you did.
Like,
you sent me the flyer. It's like I may go see Tim Capello tonight. I wish I would have gone because that is great. But just know I was going for Better Now from Collective Soul because you feel better now, and Nobody's Fool by Cinderella.
Okay, well maybe we could do. We'll save those for other things. I like this. I Still Believe because I still believe in radio, despite what the great Peter Conlon said. We still believe in radio. And
those that just got let go, whether they think it's over or not, they still believe. We believe in the medium. We believe that local personalities are huge. And I'll finish with this. True story, hand to God. I'm driving here to our studio. And I'm passing. I get to one of those, where they're working and they got the slow and the stop sign. I've got the stop sign. I'm 3 vehicles back. Then they go slow. As I'm driving by, the guy recognizes me, and then another guy recognizes me because they see the 96 Rock plate on the front of my truck. And then they see me, and dude, they're like, South Side! Before it's over, I have got 8 construction workers waving at me as I drive by.
See? The personality works. They need to keep the personality. So that's.
And I don't mind being the king of blue collar and no collar, but guess what? If I make enough money, I'm going to be at your white collar gatherings.
All right, there you go. Track 13. Watch the video. Listen to the song. Link in the description. It is Tim Capello. I Still Believe on the Yeah Come On Show.